See you all. Hope you slept well and have woken bright and ready for what I think will be, I'm hoping it'll be quite a lovely class. Again, like a couple of the classes I taught in the week, the ones with the cross-referenced sun salutations that some of you might have done in the mornings on Monday and Friday. This is very much inspired by a North American teacher called Elena Brower. Some of you may know her. And just to say now, and then we'll come into the practice, there's a big emphasis in this sequence on finding space around the back of the pelvis and around the kidney area. So looking for a sense of buoyancy around the kidneys and the back of the pelvis. And that might not sound like very much now, but it's quite interesting to follow that through as a theme, both physically, physiologically, but also what that brings us in a sense of how we move in the world and just how we feel has a really quite, I find it has quite a profound effect on my emotional state. Interestingly, I don't really know why, I haven't looked enough into it, but we're just looking for that sense of buoyancy. So if you would like to come to lying on your backs, please, with your knees bent, while I have a sip of tea. And take your time to settle. You might have just fallen out of bed. You might have been up for a while, but allowing yourself to drop into an acceptance that for the next 90 minutes, you have permission to simply be with yourself and to explore bodily sensation, explore the breath and everything else that arises for you. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do right now. And as you settle, I'm going to read you a short poem. Some of you may know this poet. She was an astrophysicist. She's called Rebecca Elson. She was the wife of a friend of mine. And she's also an amazing poet. And I'm going to read a very short poem at the beginning of the sequence and a very short poem at the end. This poem is called Evolution. We are survivors of immeasurable events, flung upon some reach of land, small, wet miracles without instructions, only the imperative of change. So as you settle on your backs, and I'm going to join you now, maybe still with the memories of dreams in your cells from the night, or maybe with those brief words from Rebecca Elson. Can you ask yourself what you really need from this practice today? Can you ask yourself what your body, what your heart space is saying to you in terms of what you really need and what quality you'd like to invite into the practice? Like ordering this quality off a shopping list so that you can focus on an intention for yourself to keep coming back to keep you focused. And taking a moment to acknowledge the support of the floor beneath you, beneath the soles of your feet. I would definitely practice today in bare feet if you possibly can. Up the back of your body, the back of your head, maybe even feeling the palms of your hands. And aware of the space above the front of your body, the atmosphere in the room. And noticing the quality of your breath. Does it feel quite fresh this morning, quite innocent and fluid? Maybe you've woken with a heaviness, a little bit of a restriction in the breath. Whatever you're noticing physically, energetically with the breath, are you able to welcome everything in? So everything comes as if it's walking through the door, comes into practice with you today. Just allow that all to be there and then observe what happens. And then taking a really big breath in, really filling your lungs, filling your abdomen. And on the exhale, sigh out and feel the sink. And then take another breath in. Exhale and feel the sink. And then one more breath in. And I'm so happy that there are people here today practicing with me who I know are on the front line. I know are turning up day after day to work when a lot of us are feeling stuck at home. And I know a lot of the yoga classes and meditation classes that Will and I are providing aren't accessible for those of you who go to work every day. And I really want to hear from you. I haven't heard very much from you about when would be good for classes, but I'm so happy that some of you are here now. A huge heartfelt thanks from me and so I'm sure from everybody else. It's no longer a novelty. It feels like we're all in this for the long haul. And so taking a breath in now, and on your breath out, bringing your right knee in towards you with your hands. And just easing the knee in. Let's be kind to our body right now. Let's be kind to the right hip. And if it feels available to you, you could slide the left foot away. And take a little bit of time to circle into this right hip. This is going to be a flowing class, a hatha flow, a lot of vinyasa. I want to open quite gently and tentatively, just stirring in to this part of the body that's going to receive a lot of attention today. The back of the sacrum, around the kidneys, and the hips and pelvis. And then if you've been circling that right knee, you could circle it in the opposite direction. And breathing spaciously into your body without strain. And then holding your knee maybe a little bit closer in towards you and taking a lovely full buoyant breath in. And on the breath out, lifting your head towards your knee. And holding here for an in-breath. And on the out-breath, gently settle your head down and release your knee a little bit away from you. And now bending up the left knee with a foot on the floor. We're going to come to half happy baby on the right. So if you'd like to draw your knee down towards your armpit so that your lower leg is vertical, the sole of your foot is reaching towards the ceiling. Maybe you need to hold the leg lower down if you can't reach the foot, and you can do that with both hands if you like. Or maybe you'd like to hold on to the foot with the right hand. And it would be normal to feel pretty closed up and sticky and stiff in the morning. So feeling into the right hip, maybe your left knee drops out to the side, or maybe you stretch the left leg away, maybe a bit off the floor even. I'm taking both of my hands to the right foot, just feels good. And rocking around a little bit, feeling in and breathing. Making sure to be quite open and relaxed in the upper body. What do you feel? And then if you haven't if you haven't lengthened out your left leg, doing so, and taking your left hand either to the leg or the right foot, and taking your right arm out in a T shape. We're going to rock a little bit from side to side. So eventually we're going to draw the right leg over for a twist, but there's no hurry. Just feel away. Breathing with the morning. And you might find that as you rock, and you rock over to the left a little bit, you fancy pushing the hand into the foot and straightening the leg, maybe a little. Be kind, you might want to pulse slightly. And at some point, and you decide when, you're going to roll all the way over onto the left side of your body. You might want to shift that left hip a little bit so that your right knee is coming down. And now it's up to you. You might release the foot, have the knee bent, look over your right hand. Or you might already be fancying a little bit more of a stretch in that right leg. You might want to straighten out the leg and push the foot into the hand. Don't strain this, don't feel in any hurry to do this. And we'll stay for 5 breaths in whichever morning twist you've decided to opt for. If you have come to the straight leg version, there's a little micro instruction that you might want to follow, which is to come to the outside of the right hip and just pull it ever so delicately. It's only going to be a centimetre or so or less towards the left heel. And see how this maybe creates a sense of space in the pelvis. And then relax in the right shoulder blade and breathe 2 more breaths. Lovely twist for the abdomen in the morning. And then bringing your head back to neutral. Gently coming back the way you came. So bending that right knee, rolling over and holding on to the right knee. And taking a breath in, and as you breathe out again, lifting your head towards the knee. And breathe in here. And as you breathe out, now release the whole body on the mat, head, hands, and knee. We'll bring all of that to the other side. So beginning with both knees bent up, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, draw the left knee in towards you. Have a little explore into that left hip, a little bit of a circle. Only sliding the right leg away, the right foot away if you're ready to, or when you're ready to. I wonder how many of you are using the playlists that I put up about 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago as part of these practices. It would be good to know. I said I would make more and I haven't, so maybe you'd like freshen up. Let me know. And then if you've been circling in one direction, circle in the opposite direction. Breathing and feeling into the left side of the body, the left hip, the left buttock. And then holding the knee in a little bit closer towards you and pushing through the right heel. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift your head to your knee. And take another breath in here, really pushing that right heel away. And as you breathe out, release your head. And then bending up the right knee, and we come to half happy baby on the left. So maybe you're holding your lower leg, or even behind the knee is fine. Or maybe you're holding on to the foot with one or both hands. And begin to ease into this side of the body, easing the knee down towards the armpit. And breathing spaciously and fully, sliding that right leg away only if that feels good and it doesn't kind of ruck you up, so that you feel like your chin can still come into your chest. And I learnt this from Donna Fahy. I like to lift the right leg off the floor a little and take the leg out to the side. This balances out the pelvis. You can feel your sacrum lovely and stable and symmetrical on the floor beneath you. And breathe. Rebecca Elson's only wrote one very slim volume of poetry, and it's got I think it's an amazing title. It's called A Responsibility to Awe, as in AWE. Bearing in mind that she was a cosmologist and astrophysicist. And that definitely brought perspective to her own struggle with a rare form of blood cancer. So she died very young. She died before she reached the age of 40. But she wrote with such optimism, such hope, such beauty in her poetry. Okay, and then if you haven't lengthened out your right leg before, lengthening it out now and taking your left foot in your right hand, or the leg, left arm out to the side, and beginning that gentle rocking. Little bit of rocking, so we're not in too much of a hurry to twist over to the right. Lefts and rights aren't the best today. Did I ask you to get yourselves a block or a brick? I think I forgot. It was on the screensaver. When we come up to standing, I'll remind you. And at some point, don't be in too much of a hurry, rolling all the way over to the right. You might want to shift your left hip up to the left a little to help you down, to create space. A little bit of a shimmy here with your shoulder blades. And decide if you're going to keep the left knee bent. Absolutely fine. You might want to start like that anyway. Or you might like to hold onto the foot and ease your way with a gentle pulsing, bending and straightening the leg. Before maybe you come to a straight leg, pushing that into the right hand. The foot, I mean. Looking over your left hand and breathing here. Possibly bringing your attention to the left outer hip and just sliding it ever so slightly down towards the right heel. I find that transforms my experience of this twist. It really, really does. Breathe. How soft can you become in your throat and the roof of your mouth? Breathe. Being aware that your internal organs are very pleased, probably, to have a little massage this morning. Great for your digestion. Beautiful. And then bring your head back to neutral. And gently, gently come back the way you came, so that you can hold on to your left knee with the right leg stretched away. And take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lift your head towards your knee. And take another breath in. And then breathing out, slide the leg away and take a moment now to feel the whole body on the mat. Feel the floor, the earth, rising up to meet you and hold you this morning. Be aware again of the quality of your breath. And if you need reminding, come back to your own intention that you might have set for this practice. Patience is always a good one. I'm only speaking about myself. Beautiful. And then breathing and lifting your arms up over your head to the floor behind you. As you breathe out, bring your arms over, lift your knees towards you and grab both of your feet into a full happy baby. So we're taking the knees as far apart as possible. Maybe you're holding lower down the leg, or maybe you're holding onto your feet. And can you decide for a few quite deep breaths, if you want to keep your sacrum really stuck down to the floor, chin into the chest? Or if you want to explore what it's like to peel your lower back off the floor a little bit, to peel the sacrum off the floor, your buttocks. You might want to move between the two poses. And now become super soft around the jaw and around the eyes. Our eyes are working too hard most of the time. And we don't need to work them in this practice. Allow them to rest. You can close them for the last 3 breaths here. And then gently releasing your feet, bringing your knees in towards you. If you wanted to, you could hold onto your feet to hold you into a tighter little ball. But you don't have to, you could hold the knees. Take a full inhale, and on the exhale, lift your head towards your knees. You're in a really tight little package. And take another inhale here. And then exhale, take your head down, fingers behind the knees now. And we are going to come up to standing after a very long, lazy opening to the class. So you could roll to one side. You could roll up and down the spine for a few breaths. Massaging all the muscles up and down the spine. Until you're ready to come onto all fours. We'll come straight into a downward dog, please. Straight into a downward dog. And this will be the first of lots of downward dogs this morning. So really be curious about how you're feeling. Your hips might feel quite open already after what we've just done, but you might feel very closed in the back of your legs. You might want to really enliven your hands against the mat. Engage the arm muscles to the bones. 3 more full breaths, your way, choosing what you need in your downward dog. Looking in between your hands and either stepping or walking your feet forwards, coming to a flat back, and take a breath in. And as you breathe out, fold. And bringing your palms to your chest, inhaling, come all the way up. Maybe reaching up and looking at your fingertips. Finding a bit more length, and then exhaling, bringing your hands down to your heart space. And take a moment now to feel the body. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And releasing your arms down by your sides. So there's going to be a little bit of technical detail in this class because we are focusing on this area of the body, this space around the kidneys and the sacrum. I'll be inviting you to bring your attention there in particular ways. So first of all, I want you to really feel rooted down through your feet. I would maybe spread your toes, almost reconnect your feet with the floor. You feel a slight dragging down of your tailbone and a lift of your chest, just slightly. Arms by your sides. And take a moment here, breathing and feeling, to locate the area that you think is your kidneys, so above the sacrum and the mid to lower back. Consciously take a breath into that area. Find that buoyancy and then consciously breathe out. And then breathing in, lifting your arms up. And breathe out, fold. And now breathing in with that buoyancy, come to a half forward fold. So legs are straight and you're really pushing your thighs back now. And exhale, fold again. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in, straightening your legs, pushing the thighs back, lifting your heart. And exhale, fold again. Bringing your palms to your heart and breathing in, come all the way up. And breathe out, hands down. Really feel solid through your feet. And then breathing in again, lift up. And breathe out, fold. And breathe in, straight legs, thigh bones back. As you lift your heart and you lengthen your spine. And then breathe out and step back to a downward dog for 5 breaths. 5 breaths. And bringing your attention to the side body for this downward dog. From the hip creases to the armpits. So if you're encouraging space in there, and then from the side body, come round to the area above the sacrum, the area of your kidneys. So we're looking for buoyancy, space in the pelvis, the side body, the kidneys. Almost as if you were a helium balloon. Beautiful. And then bending your knees, inhale, and exhale here. Inhale, and then exhale, straighten up again, really lifting your bottom. And then looking in between your hands and step your feet forwards, straight into forward fold. Hands to your heart and inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. So it's a lovely, I love the way that Elena Brower slowly comes into her sequences, and this is very much inspired by that. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, fold. Breathing in again to a flat back. Really relax in the toes in this one. Even lift the toes up and take a breath in. And now step back to a plank. Now this is a really good time to bring your attention to the back of your pelvis, the sacrum, this part of the body. And see if you can create buoyancy there, as if you're being lifted up from there, but you're not actually lifting your bottom. And root down through your hands. Let's take 3 more breaths if you can. Obviously, if you need to, you come down on your forearms, or if you need to, you drop your knees. 1 more breath, and then drop your knees if you need to, but if you're able to, slowly, slowly lower the whole body down, so your forehead is down and your elbows are sticking up, hands by your ribs. And take a full breath in and a long breath out. And then bending your knees, reaching your arms towards, your hands towards your feet, but you don't have to hold on to your feet. It's early in the practice. And take a breath in and lift your chest. And I want you to really root the front of the body into the mat as you breathe into the back body. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Breathe into the back body. One more inhalation here. And then exhale, release, hands by your ribs, forehead down. And then breathing into all fours, exhale, find your downward dog. And then inhale, bend your knees a lot, really sticking your bottom out, and exhale here. Take another inhalation and then reach up with your bottom. Straighten your legs and exhale. And then looking in between your hands, stepping your feet forwards. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Hands to your heart, inhale, come all the way up. Really pushing your thigh bones back. And exhale, hands to your heart. Feel the body, feel the breath. And then breathing and lifting up again. And breathing out, fold all the way down. And step straight to a plank again. Take a breath in this plank and really hug everything in. Hug your muscles to the bones, hug the externalities of your body, the outside of your body inwards. Hug it all in, inhale. And then we come down again, either drop your knees or slowly come down straight as a stick. And we're going to come into a cobra, again with a lot of attention in the back body. But I want you to really root down through your thigh bones, your big toes, your front of your pelvis. And then breathe and lift the chest. Exhale here with your chin in towards your chest to begin with. Listen to your body, you don't need to come high. Don't hurt yourselves here. And then breathing in, maybe take your head back. Breathe out. And now puff up that area around the kidneys. Take that breath into the back of the body. And I don't know about you, but for me this really works. Really works for me to enliven the back of the body and then to be able to lift the heart into the throat. Take another full breath in, really buoyant. And then breathe out, come down. Pushing yourself to all fours, come back to a downward dog. Noticing how you feel. So any stage in this practice, as always, I don't always give these caveats now because I assume everybody's been coming for a while, but if there's anybody new here, you always have the option to rest out in a pose of the child, coming down to your knees and resting. Please don't overstrain yourselves. And now looking in between your hands, you're going to step your right foot forwards. I want to take time to really feel into this lunge this morning. So actually what we're doing now is the same as half happy baby when we're lying on our backs. But it might feel, well, it'll feel different. And as you breathe and really push that left heel away and feel that buoyancy again in the pelvis and the back of the body. And then very slowly and mindfully lower the back knee down. No hurry at all. And you can keep your left toes curled or release them. And place the left hand down. And lift the right arm up. I want you to really spread the fingers. And with this attention and the space in the pelvis, begin to circle that right arm. There's no hurry here. We're circling and watching the hand maybe. And breathing. And then taking those circles in the opposite direction. All the while puffing out this area, the back of the pelvis and above that into the kidneys. Lovely. One more breath in as you reach up in this little twist. And then as you breathe out, bring the right hand down inside the foot. So both hands are inside the foot. Maybe explore if you want to lift the back knee and slide it further away. Maybe keep the left knee lifted. What we're going to do is turn the palms over into a little bit of a gecko, but the palms are facing up. You might be on your forearms. So this is such a receptive pose with the palms facing up. Let's stay a while. All the while breathing. Breathing space into the body. Beautiful. And turning your palms back down again. Straightening your arms up. Bring yourself back to a downward dog. And breathe here. And on the next breath in, ripple forwards to plank. Choose your way down to the mat as you breathe out. And you have the option of taking the cobra we took before. Cobra is when the pelvis and the legs are on the floor. Or you might like to push into your hands and the tops of your feet to come to an upward dog. So there's nothing on the floor except the hands and the feet. And then drop the pelvis. And then here, breathe that space into the back of the pelvis. And from that space, open in the heart space. Maybe take your head back. And breathe. Pushing into the tops of your feet and your hands if you're an upward dog. One more breath in. And on the breath out, downward dog. And now feel the whole of your pelvis, front, back and sides in your downward dog. So I hope you like the slow style. Not everyone likes the same thing. I had feedback from some people after quite a fast flow I did last week that it was just too fast, although some people absolutely loved it. I hope there's enough variety for you all to find something you like. Looking in between your hands, please step your left foot forwards. And again, we take time, really take time here to feel into this lunge. Might want to rock a little bit. Moving the left heel front and back. And eventually, slowly, 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 lowering the right knee to the floor. And breathing here. All of this attention here. And take your right hand down. And lift up your left arm, really spread your fingers. And then as you breathe into the back body, circle slowly and deliciously with this left arm. And then reversing those circles. Lovely. Until you take one breath with the arm lifted. And then on the exhale, bring the left hand inside the foot. And this is where you decide maybe to lift the right knee and slide it further back. Maybe you decide to stay up with the knee or drop it. And we turn our palms over, palms facing up. And maybe you're down on your forearms, maybe not. Doesn't actually matter. The idea is to melt into this very receptive gecko. Just the action of having the palms facing up is a simple gesture, which brings a certain quality, I think, into this pose. I love it. And breathe. Really puffing out the back of your pelvis and the kidneys. Beautiful. And we'll gently come out. Gently come out. Straightening your arms, sliding yourselves back to a downward dog. And feel this downward dog now. I want you to really lift your sitting bones up and apart. So you're just trying to reach the ceiling. And then breathing in forwards to plank. And you have a choice now of all these different back bends. You could exhale and drop your knees and come all the way down. You could exhale, come down straight as a stick. Or from here, you might like to flip your toes over and simply lower the pelvis into an upward dog this way. If upward dog isn't your thing, you're lying flat on the floor, take a breath in and peel the chest up only, pressing your legs and the front of the pelvis down. And now one more breath, really lift at the back of the pelvis, the kidneys. Exhale, and then breathe in, come to a downward dog. So for the next pose, might be useful, but not necessarily, to have a yoga brick or a book in front of your mat on the right hand side. So what I'm going to do is suggest that we all either rest in downward dog or take a little break in child's pose, which is what I'm going to do. For just 2 or 3 breaths or maybe 5 breaths. So anyone who hasn't got a brick or a book could go and get one now. And just settle into the body and the breath as we wait. Okay. And then from here, coming back to your downward dog. And stepping your right foot forwards. And taking your right hand to the floor right out in front of you, beyond the right foot. So you could place the knee in your armpit, and that length then out to your fingertips would be about the right length. Or maybe come onto a brick. I think I'm going to try a brick. And we're going to lightly, with all that buoyancy, we're going to lightly spring the back leg up for half moon. So to bring your left hand to your hip. I don't know if Paul's here, you're asking about balancing. There's a couple of balances today. And as you press into the standing foot, push that right thigh away. Maybe, only maybe if it's right for your body, peel the left hip away. Maybe lift the left arm. But now the point of this is buoyancy in the pelvis. And to bring this thing called, I can't remember the name, something radiation into it. So bring your attention to the navel. And from your navel, expand outwards in all directions, to your fingertips, to your heels, front, back and sides of the pelvis. And now breathe in here and breathe out. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, look down. Take both hands down in front of the right foot. Lower the left hip. And step lightly. In fact, don't step lightly. Keep the left leg raised. So we're coming into a version of standing split. Now it might be you want to keep your chest out, away from the thigh. Might be you want to keep your left leg about parallel with the floor. But how about experimenting? What happens when you try and lift the left leg higher? And maybe your torso comes down closer to your leg. So I'm finding this really hard today for whatever reason. Sometimes it's easy. So take this according to your own energy levels right now. Take a breath in and then lightly place the left foot behind you. Please don't take the heel down, keep the heel up. And breathe in, open your chest here, and on the breath out, straighten that right leg. If you need the brick for your hands, that's fine. So Parsvattanasana, pyramid pose. And we'll take a few breaths here to look for lightness and space in the whole of the pelvis. Breathing in, find length in the spine, really spacious. And either stay here or breathe out. Come down over the front leg. And feel the body. Keep pulling that right hip back. Don't overlock out the right knee though. Can you find lightness? And then looking forwards, step the left foot into a forward fold. Breathing in, find a flat back. Breathe out, step back to plank. Take a breath in your plank. And as you breathe out, choose your way down to the mat. And breathe and peel up into either your cobra or your upward dog. And then come to downward dog. Or child's pose if you're needing a rest. Wonderful. Looking in between your hands and stepping your left foot forwards. And taking your brick over to the left, if you're using a brick. Placing your armpit over the knee to create about the right distance as you stretch out your forearm and the hand. And then with a breath in, lightly lift up the back leg. And really push back the left thigh bone out into the space behind you. And from there, peel open the right hip if that's right for you. Maybe lift the arm, don't feel you have to. And now breathe space into the pelvis and radiate out in all directions from your navel. So radiant pose, full of morning energy. Don't lock out the standing knee. One more breath in. And then take both hands down to the floor, just in front of the left foot. Lower the right hip. And from here, decide, are you going to lift that right leg into a version of standing splits? And bring your torso down over the left leg. Some of you might even like to, should have said this on the other side, hold on to the back of the leg to pull you in. Depends where you're at with this today. I'm not in such a good place physically. Take a breath in and then breathe out, step back with the right foot. You might have both hands on a brick or on the floor. Keep that right heel up. Breathe in, lovely open chest. And then breathe out, straighten the left leg. Draw the left hip back. And breathe into the pelvis again, that space in all directions. Maybe bring the body down, upper body down over the leg. And keep drawing the left hip back and creating that space at the back of the pelvis. Beautiful. And then bending softly in the knee. Inhale, step forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, come back to plank. Drop your knees if you need to. Find your way down to the mat. Inhale, find your cobra or your upward dog. And let's all take a little rest in child's pose before the next sequence. Finding your pose of the child, sitting back on your heels. Finding your breath. Wonderful. And then if you'd like to come back to your downward dog. And step your right foot forward again. You might have a brick, you might not. Now, you have a choice of coming straight back into that half moon that we did before that standing balance, or I'm going to give you a variation. Please only come into this variation if it feels just right for you today. There's no obligation ever. So right hand either on the brick or the floor, and just lightly bounce up the left leg. Make sure your right thigh is pushing back. And then the alternative to what we did before is the Chapasana, where we hold on to the left foot and then take it behind us. And this version, which I really like, is not about lifting the knee higher. You want to keep the knee pulling back behind you parallel with the floor. And then push into the foot, push the foot into the hand. And from here, breathe in that space. It's really important to keep pushing that right hip back. Right thigh bone back is what I meant. Don't seek to pull the knee out to the side. You're pushing it out behind you. And then see what it feels like to release into the half moon. Pushing the leg out behind you, expanding that left arm up. Can you feel that lightness and that buoyancy now? Take a breath in. And from here, breathe out and lightly step back. Bring yourself to plank. Bring yourself down to the mat your way. Scoop yourself up into a little cobra or an upward dog. And then come to your downward dog. Looking forward, step your left foot forwards. Decide if you're going to use your brick or not on the left. Lightly bounce that right leg off the floor. Decide if you're going to take conventional half moon, or if you'd like to hold on to that right foot. Pulling the knee out behind you, not out to the side. As you breathe as much space into this pose as possible, really push the left thigh bone back. It's quite hot work. Concentrate, but bring a lightness into your concentration. And then from this version, see what it feels like to open out, to unfurl into the full Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. One more breath in. And then lightly come back to plank. Bring yourself down to the mat your way. Peel your chest up. And find your downward dog. Or your pose of the child. Listen to your body. And then when you're ready, looking in between your hands and step your right foot forwards. Now this is quite challenging. I'm probably going to embarrass myself and fall over. This is for you, Paul. I'm going to lightly step up, into warrior three. So here our pelvis is parallel with the floor. We're pushing out through that back heel. Drop the left hip and now breathe space into the pelvis. Puff up around your kidneys. And find length. Breathe in. And from there, breathe out. Drop back down to plank. Come down to the mat your way. Peel the chest up. Downward dog. Take a breath in and out here. And then step your left foot forwards. So you know what's coming. Can you bring lightness and laughter into this warrior three? It's my nemesis, warrior three. Virabhadrasana 3. Float yourself up. Find as much stability as is available and push through that right heel. Drop the right hip a bit.
Stretch out through your fingertips and then breathe space into the pelvis, around the kidneys. Breathe in, and on your breath out, find your plank. Come down to the mat. Peel up your chest. I think it's time for child pose. I don't know if you agree. So coming back, knees together or knees apart, sit on your heels. And you might like to have your hands under your forehead, or you could stretch your arms out. And come back to your breath. Come back to your breath. Maybe come back to your intention. I love this sequence, but it's surprisingly tough. Definitely picks up, so I hope you're not beating yourselves up, those of you who are finding it challenging. I'm finding it super challenging. And then on the next breath in, really fill up the whole of your torso with the breath. And on an exhalation, pour it out in a big sigh. And then breathing and fill yourself with as much breath as possible. Breathe out. Last time. Notice how you feel now. And then I'm going to slowly straighten up the arms. And come to all fours and slide your right knee forwards in between your hands. We're not bringing it right up to the right. Bring your right knee forwards in between your hands. So we've got a couple of pigeons in this sequence. If you know that, I'm going to show you the alternative. If you know that your knee is jammy and you can't take pigeon on the front, this is pigeon on the back. Right ankle over the knee and pulling with the right hand through the gap, the left leg in towards you. That is excellent pigeon on the back, and explore that with all the same instructions about space at the back of the pelvis and the kidneys. Otherwise, right knee forwards, slide the left leg away. My right heel is sort of around the area of my left front hip bone, coming into the groin a little bit. And now you have an option. You have an option here. Let's see how we get on. We're bending up the back foot. Plant your right hand underneath your face. You're nice and firm there. Look over your left shoulder. And you're going to take your left hand inside the foot. That's the important thing here. So you could flex the foot and pull the ankle towards you. And then maybe as you gather your pelvis inwards, first of all, you gather in the hips, you condense, take a breath in, and then on the breath out, puff out a bit and maybe slide that left knee further away, only if that's right for you. And then look around to the center as you pull that ankle in the hand. And take a few breaths. Take a few breaths here. So again, we're breathing space into the pelvis, really separating the sitting bones. Can you feel that? Don't worry if you can't. One more breath in. Beautiful. And then breathe out, release. Find your downward dog. And this time with your downward dog, I want you to really shoot up through your sitting bones. Almost as if you're going to take off, you're being lifted up via your bottom out of the roof of your house. Lift, lift, lift. And ripple forwards to plank. Find your way down to the mat. Just take a little cobra this time, nothing too strong. Inhale. And come to all fours. And we'll take that pigeon on the left. If you're doing pigeon on your back, take the left ankle over the right knee and take your left hand through the gap to draw the right leg in. Otherwise, drawing the left knee in between your hands. Just walking the foot over a little bit so it's about level with your front right hip. Then you slide the right leg away. Just check the right leg is straight. And bring your left hand underneath your face. Please don't put up with any pain in the knee at all. Please, please, please. And then lifting. So if you're unable to hold the foot, it's absolutely fine to keep practicing like this. Just keep pulling the heel back towards the back of your head. Otherwise, reach with the right hand to the inside of the foot, and pull the foot in towards you at the same time as pushing it away. And you'll find that you're able to slide the knee maybe a bit further back. And then turn around to face the front. And now breathe into the kidneys. Now breathe up the spine around the kidneys. And see what you find. See if you can soften and stop trying too hard. Lovely pose, isn't it? One more breath in. And then breathe out, release. If you're on your back, rolling over, and we'll come to downward dog. If you're tired of planks and cobras, stay here for the moment. Otherwise, come with me to plank. Come down to the mat your way. Find your back bend your way. Downward dog. And step the right foot forwards. Bring the left heel down. Now we have space. Our feet are hip distance apart, and from that space, let's come up to warrior one. Lovely. So, warrior one's a lovely pose to explore the same area that we've been exploring. First of all, can you feel as if you're hugging your feet towards each other, even though they're not moving? And see how that gives you a different access into the pelvis and then up, and then notice that space. Breathe out here. Breathe into this space, and then follow the front of the spine. And find a jubilant warrior one for this morning. Virabhadrasana one in all its glory. Breathe. Beautiful. And then straightening up if you were taking a little back bend. Dropping your hands down, lift the back heel. Come to your plank, inhale. Choose your way down to the mat, exhale. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. And step your left foot forwards, right heel comes down. Feet are not walking a tightrope, but at a hip distance apart. And then from that stability, come up. And begin by that hugging of the feet in towards each other. And then find that spaciousness in the pelvis, especially around the kidneys above the sacrum. And then follow the front of your spine if you want to, and a little bit of a back bend. Keep putting the feet in towards you and see how that takes your attention up to the kidneys. Wonderful. And then inhale, straighten. Beautiful. Exhale. Come back. Just to a downward dog. And breathe here. Just feel everything. Feel the body, feel the breath. One more inhale and drop your knees. We're going to take a second pigeon, everybody. So sorry for those of you who are on your backs. You're just going to do the same thing, but it'll have a great effect. Bring the right knee forwards again. Slide the left leg away. And just check that the leg's straight. So it's a slightly different variation. Anybody who knows what mermaid is could take mermaid. I'm nowhere near that in my practice, and I don't think it's for this lifetime, but it might be for you. I'm going to bring the right hand down under the face again. I'm going to bend up the left knee and reach this time for the outside of the foot, not the inside. And this is where you have a choice. You might be able to take your hand to the top of the foot and then swivel your fingers out to the left and lift your elbow. Just a stronger stretch for the left quad. And then slide that left knee away to create space in the pelvis. Breathe in here. Breathe in here. You're looking ahead of you. You're not looking at your elbow or your shoulder. Keep drawing that left shoulder forwards. One more breath in. And release. Slide yourself to plank. Either drop your knees or not as you come down. Lift yourself into a little cobra. Downward dog. Just to breathe it out for a few moments. Beautiful. One more breath in. Then we drop our knees. And we take this final pigeon to the left. So on your backs if you need to. Left foot forward, slide the right leg away. Look over to check the right leg is straight. So you're already dropping this right hip bone into the left heel. Left hand comes underneath your face. And you reach first of all for the outside of the right foot. And it may be that this is enough for you and you keep drawing that in. Maybe you take your hand to the top of the foot, swivel the fingers to face to the right, and then bring the elbow up, drawing the heel in towards your buttock. And the last bit is to draw your right shoulder forwards, look forwards, and see if you can slide that right knee a little bit away, at least in your imagination, to create space. How are you doing? Breathe with it. One more breath in. And then breathe out. And a slightly unexpected thing we're going to do now. Come to your plank. Drop down to the mat. Lift into your cobra. Find a downward dog. And just lightly now, with a lot of humour, nothing serious, step your right foot forwards and spring yourself into half moon. With a lightness now. Maybe it feels different to the first time. Maybe you want to stay here, or maybe you would like to hold the foot again. We're not going to stay long, just to experience a difference the second time. Pulling that knee behind you, breathing and radiating from the navel. One more breath in. And then lightly step back to your downward dog. And we'll just simply take that to the other side. Step your left foot forwards. Spring up into your half moon. Starting with a traditional half moon and staying there if you like. Pushing through that heel and radiating. Maybe taking hold of the foot if that is right for you. Pulling the knee away from you, but not out to the side. And breathe now, space, 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 space. One more breath in. And then come back to your downward dog. Take your hands and your feet wide apart, wide apart. And feel the ease of the breath now. I hope. Feel that space around your kidneys now, I hope. Steady with the breath. One more full breath in. And then drop your knees. Bring your toes together. And we'll take a lovely long child's pose. I would have the palms facing up in that receptivity. In that receptive mode. And really drop into the pelvis, the shoulders, the forehead. And breathe. Stay a while. Stay a while in your child's pose. And even in your child's pose, what does it feel like to find buoyancy at the back of the pelvis, but also the front of the pelvis? Feeling all that spaciousness. And can you melt into that for a few more breaths? It's been a demanding sequence. And then very gently coming onto your back. And we're going to take a back bend, and you have a choice of taking a bridge. We'll take two. We'll all take a bridge the first time, and the second time you might take a bridge, or you may be in the mood for a full wheel, a full Ardha Chandrasana. So make sure your thighs are parallel, your feet are hip distance apart. Excuse me. Feeling that length in the spine. And take a breath in, and as you breathe out, push through your feet and lift. And you might like to hold on to your ankles. You might like to interlace your hands, rolling your upper arms and shoulders under. See what it feels like to lift your heels off the floor and then drop them down again. And now breathe. Drop your chin back, not in towards your chest. One more breath in. And release your hands if they're together. Roll your shoulders out and come down bone by bone. Take a moment to feel the body. So you might well want to do exactly that same pose again. Maybe bringing your knees in towards you in between. Or maybe you'd like to come to full wheel. I'm going to have a go this morning. If you're coming to full wheel, take your hands by your ears with your fingers pointing into your shoulders. Try and keep your knees and your elbows pulling inwards rather than flopping outwards. And take a full breath in, and on the breath out, only lift the top of your head. Take a full breath in, and then on the breath out, push yourself. We're looking for straight arms, straight legs. If anything, your toes are pointing in towards each other rather than out. And then ease your chest through your arms. If you're on bridge, just breathing as much space into the body as possible. Breathe. One more breath in. And then slowly, slowly, please look at the ceiling as you come down if you're in full wheel. Lower yourself very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. Take a moment to feel the body. If it feels right, pull your knees in towards you. And then we're going to take a very lazy twist. You could draw your knees in towards you, arms out to the side, and just drop your knees to the left as your eyes come to the right. And I'm not going to say any more other than to seek as much softness as you can now. We're coming to the end of the physical practice. Really soften. If you found things quite challenging, can you just let go now? And find the ease in your skin breathing. I, for one, found that challenging, if that's any comfort. Probably isn't. We'll take that twist to the other side, head back to neutral, knees to the top, and then float your knees to the right, eyes to the left, and find softness here. Let go a little bit more. And then when you're ready, rolling yourself back. And dropping the left foot with your right knee in towards you, interlacing your hands behind the right thigh. So we quite often do this after some of those standing poses when there's a lot of focus on the pelvis. So you push your thigh into your hands, you pull your hands against the thigh, and you drag the leg down towards the floor, towards the hip socket, and now breathe, toes flexed. It's really important, we had this emphasis in some of the standing poses to keep pushing that thigh bone back, and that's what we're doing here. And again, it's the same physiological thing that's going on. We're creating space in the pelvis rather than crunching all the bones together. One more breath in. And then release that side, and we'll take that to the other side. Left leg lifts. Interlace your hands. Pull the leg and push the leg. And drag the leg down. And breathe. Feel that slab of bone of your sacrum pressing into the mat. The reason we do this is to counter all the buoyancy or the spaciousness, which is all great, but we need stability as well. We're bringing stability back into the relationship between our legs and our pelvis, between our legs and the upper body, so that we don't float off into the stratosphere, but we walk strong and steady on this earth, while spacious at the same time. One more breath in. And breathe out. Release. Slide your feet away for a moment. We're going to do one seated forward fold before we come into relaxation, but just take a moment to feel the body now. Take a moment to feel your body extended on the mat. And when you're ready, bringing yourself up to sitting, please. And if you know that you need to sit on a cushion or a block for a forward fold, please do. So I've got my right leg extended, and notice that for this I'm not bringing the right heel right into the thigh and the groin, but a little bit out in front. And then taking the torso round over the right leg, toes coming towards you. If you know that you need to bend the knee, that's fine. Come into a softer version. And then take a breath in, all that space that we found, breathe it into the torso. And then breathe out, reach for the foot or for the leg. And what I'd like you to do for this version is take the right hand outside the leg, so you're actually pushing into your fingertips. And take the left hand either to the outside of the foot or the outside of the leg. And we take a little bit of a spacious Janu Shirshasana. This is not about coming down as far as possible. Still got the same theme going on. Find that spaciousness around the kidneys. Puff it up and breathe. Soften in the jaw and the eyes and the shoulders. Full breaths. And one more breath in. And a long breath out. Gently coming up to center and taking a moment before leaping to the other side to feel the body. And we will take it to the other side. So left leg comes out, right foot in, but not all the way in. Bending the knee if you need to, and turning your torso around to the left. Left fingertips on the floor, and breathe in, find space. And then reach with the right hand either to outside the leg or outside the foot. And now breathe. Breathe and soften and surrender in this final physical pose. Couple more breaths. And gently releasing. Taking a moment to feel the body. And I'd like to invite you to sit a moment before lying down. So coming to an easy cross-legged seat of your choice, or any easy seat of your choice. And closing your eyes and simply noticing, simply observing your body, your breath, the space you're sitting in. Maybe turning your palms up again. Maybe tips of the thumbs and forefingers together. Just observing, just feeling. And you're welcome to stay in a seated meditation, absolutely fine. Or you might like now to come and lie down for a very, very well-earned Shavasana relaxation. Please make sure you're warm enough and comfortable enough. And aside from reading a second very short poem from Rebecca Elson, I'm going to leave you in silence for this relaxation, but at 10:30 I'll bring you out and invite anybody who wants to say hi on the gallery view. This poem is called Dark Matter. It's very, very short. Above a pond, an unseen filament of spider's floss suspends a slowly spinning leaf. Above a pond, an unseen filament of spider's floss suspends a slowly spinning leaf.
I'm beginning to breathe a little deeper now. Noticing the rise and fall of your abdomen with the breath. And introducing some gentle movement into your body of your choice, maybe into your wrists and ankles, whatever feels right to move and gently stretch the body as you come out of relaxation. Of course, if you want to stay in relaxation, stay there and turn off your volume. Some of you have already done that. Some of you have left the meeting. Until you're ready to lie on one side for a breath or two. And ending up coming up to sitting with your eyes closed and your hands together in front of your heart space. Noticing how you feel in the body. Maybe recalling one last time your intention. Reflecting on anything that was important or interesting for you from this practice that might affect your day or beyond this day. And beginning to rub the palms of your hands quite vigorously together to create heat, and then placing the palms over your eyes. Taking a breath in and out just to feel that warmth around the eyes, maybe seeping behind the eyes, and then sliding your fingers down your face, and you can open your eyes into that lightness as it comes through the fingers. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Love to hear from you. Like I say, I'm going to switch on for anybody who wants to say hi to anybody else, not necessarily to me. I'm going to do that now. Otherwise, have a lovely weekend, and I am back Monday morning. Gentle yoga, meditation at